What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Brofluent podcast. Per usual, I am your host, Eric Sika, and the creator, the curator, as always, the humble one, Brother Tom. How you
Mm,
doing today, man?
I like that. The humble one.
The humble one. You've been humble, bro. You've been
I
humble.
have been humble. I'm a humble guy in general, I think.
I mean,
I
I've
mean,
had I've had to humble you. My takes have had to
oh
humble
my
you, so it's like you've been the humble one.
nonsense. But we got some pretty big news today.
Yeah, we have
It's
breaking
gonna be a
news
good
right
show.
into it. Like, yo, J.J. Watt,
Is it
J-Swizzle to the Arizona
J-Swizzle, indeed.
Cardinals. 2 years, 31 mil, 23 million guaranteed. How
Crazy.
you feel about it, bro? Like
But
that's
I was.
it's a pretty good deal.
It's listen for JJ. That's a fantastic deal. At this point, JJ's still a good player. At this point in your career, to go get basically 15 mil a year is hard to say no to that. But shocking that it was the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I'm not even mad at the fit. I think he'll fit nicely there.
Uh-huh.
Chandler Jones will be back for them. They're a young team on the come up still. The defense, isn't great, but Isaiah Simmons, now J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, they have some playmakers. Buda Baker, of course. So they have
Right.
names around that defense. And, Kyler improving each year. Hopefully he takes another step next year. I'm just shocked that you'd pick the Arizona Cardinals over the Green Bay Packers if you're J.J. Watt. I really expected it to be the Packers because obviously Rodgers at QB every year you're in the Super Bowl contention. I thought maybe the Bills, he sees them up and coming, Josh Allen,
Right.
but he goes to Arizona to join his former teammate D-Hop, who I don't know, he must have played a part in it because if he's not there, does he go to Arizona? Probably not. So
Unlikely.
it's crazy situation. He wasn't even on the list of the top three teams that people were saying when it was
Right.
Packers, Bills, and Titans. So this came out of left field to me. But I think for the Cardinals, it's awesome. For JJ, it's not a bad deal. Of course, you're making hella money. You're going to a young team that's going to be in playoff contention. I
Mhm.
just think if you were ring chasing, you went to the wrong team.
I mean, I think we talked about this last episode with Dave. Oh, I don't think any of us saw him as a ring chasing guy. So like
You know.
that didn't really throw me. The thing that's throwing me off right now, to be completely honest, is everyone's like, "Oh, this is why you can't trust the sources. They didn't bring this up." Blah, blah, blah. On Twitter is where I found out that Nuke said, "Yo, JJ, come play with the Cardinals," and
All right.
then everyone dismissed it because we didn't expect it. Like there were better options like Green Bay, Buffalo, Cleveland, like all
Mhm.
these came up. And Pittsburgh, it all made sense. Like I'm gonna go play with my brothers. Oh, I'm gonna go
Right.
and the Bills are basically what the Texans used to be. And what you call obviously top contenders are the top contenders. So like nothing was really crazy about that. Like he
Right.
went to Arizona, which I like it,
I
but
like it.
I think we can both agree it doesn't really put him over the top crazy. I mean, he's turning
No.
32, so
I think,
I,
listen, he's probably a little past his prime.
mhm.
Injuries. I think he can still be a really good player, no doubt.
I think he's
Necessarily
gonna be. I think
defense
he's.
player of the year, that
Mhm.
level, I'm not sure anymore. But for the Cardinals, it's a home run, man.
I still think he's gonna be great because, like, we talk about Chandler Jones. So they run a 3-4.
Mhm.
Chandler Jones is gonna be a good edge rusher. Did they have Hassan? They had Hassan Riddick this
Yeah.
past year, right? He was walling.
Isaiah Simmons is the young bat linebacker, but he plays defense. He moves all around the field for them.
And he had a rough year, so like
Yeah,
people were being hard on him. Pat Pete's probably gone though. Let's not forget that.
he's
He
gone.
said he
Buda
said
Baker, maybe the best safety in the league, though.
yeah, Buda Baker's tough. Byron Murphy's a solid corner.
Mhm.
And D line wise, I mean, it really is. I mean, if I'm disrespecting someone, please throw it in the comment
And
section.
I
Bring
can't think of
someone up.
who their D tackle is.
Yeah, I can't think of. Is Corey Peters still there?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up, but off the top of my head, it doesn't come up.
But yeah, no. With this, and since you talked about the money, I'll get into that a little bit too.
Mhm.
Um, Originally, I was like, oh, JJ got paid like 23
Right.
guaranteed. Like that's a lot of guaranteed money that has to rank high. And then I looked it up. He's getting 15.5 mil a year before guarantee, like straight up annual fuck guarantees,
Right.
which is on par with like Geno Atkins. and his $23 million guaranteed is $1 million more than Josh Allen on the Jaguars. So at first I was like, oh, maybe the Cardinals, they paid a little hefty price, but in hindsight, it's like, you might have got a steal for JJ Watt, and what he brings into a locker room is definitely a big deal. You saw that with how he was acting in Houston while they were losing. Like, he kept composed, he called people out. And I do think this puts a lot of pressure on people, though. Some certain people in that organization just got the fire just got close to their toes.
Who do we know who the Cardinals defense coordinator is?
Who?
Because I doubt Kingsbury. Kingsbury probably doesn't have much say.
He probably has nothing to do with the defense.
Yeah.
But even with that being said, like, Cliff Kingsbury is kind of on a hot seat.
Vance Joseph is their D coordinator.
Vance Joseph. Why does it sound familiar? Who do you? He was the head coach for
Denver. Denver, yeah.
Denver. Yeah. Vance Joseph's job's not really up. I mean, no disrespect to him, but like, you're gonna have guys like that have opportunities.
Yeah. My question to you is: you all year you were pretty high on the Bills, while I wasn't, and obviously they turned out to reach their potential this year. But what makes the Cardinals a better option than the Bills? Because the first thing in my head was, it's not Packers, right? Because of Rodgers, then it's probably the Bills, up and coming. We saw what Allen was. We know they got good coaching. Their defense is pretty solid. You had J.J. Watt to that. You got top 10 on both sides of the ball.
Right.
When I look at the Cardinals, it's like the Bills are like almost a better version of the Cardinals. Young quarterback, but a better defense, good coaching. Like, I would have picked the Bills, but I don't know.
I think it's a money thing. I think that's all it came down to, because when you look at it, like, all right, why didn't he pick Pittsburgh? All right, so you have Stephon Tuitt, Cameron Hayward. You'd probably have to move.
Maybe back.
But you're probably going to move one of those guys inside. They run a 3-4-2. It's obviously just to play with your brothers and be a contender, but all right, I don't really want to play with them. I don't want to say that, but like, that wasn't priority number one. All right, going back to Green Bay, that's home, but I'm getting 2 years, $10 million. They're in a cap situation similar to Pittsburgh. I could probably cash out this last one. So how much can Buffalo pay me? That's probably why Cleveland came up too. Cleveland was probably offering them big bucks. Yeah. But do I want to be against my brother 2 times a year? Like, some might see that cool. Some might see that as cool. Some might not.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I think it was just, hey, like, Nuke's my old teammate. They're building something here. Guys like Larry Fitz in this locker room. To be around guys like that, Kyler reminds me a little of Deshaun. Probably in his opinion, not me, but
right.
No, it could be a win situation to get this team back to the playoffs. Is probably a big deal.
I would say too, off the top of my head, I think we said this last year too. We think they're a playoff team next year.
I think they should be now. Obviously, I have the same doubts I had last year, because that's what I mean when I'm saying people's feet are really on the fire right now. I think the first person you're going to be talking about is, it's hard. It's really 1A and 1B, but you're probably going to talk about Kyler Murray first. If they can't get to the playoff, you're going to look at him and be like, yo, if you were turning the ball over again and you were kind of the one folding in those performances, people are going to start looking at, I know it's a cheap shot, but the first thing people are going to say is, can you win with like a 5'10" QB?
Right.
Like, we saw it with Russell Wilson, but outside of that, like, this is mini Russell Wilson. This is hard.
There's exceptions to the rule, which Russell Wilson is.
Right. And then you're going to look at Cliff Kingsbury and say, all right, well, maybe you'd go first because this is your offense and you're the one that wanted this guy. So, like, you got to there's pressure to get to the playoffs now.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think you can wait another year.
If you look at the playoff picture of the teams in it besides Washington, who cut Alex Smith, which is...
Oh, yeah, we got to get into that, too, after this. But
we'll get into that. Besides Washington, it's still hard to say that they're better than the teams that are in there. Maybe they replace the Saints because the Saints got a lot of figuring out to do. Maybe they're not a playoff team next year, but maybe they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who do they replace necessarily? They're not better than the Rams now with Stafford. Probably not better than the Packers. Niners are going to be back. Seattle will be there if Wilson is still there.
I think Seattle's the question mark.
It is a question mark. Their team's not good. They just have Russell Wilson.
I think that that NFC West is going to be a battle every year when you look at the 4 teams there.
Yeah, that's so good.
And because I've already said I'm not a huge buyer in the Rams yet, but they should be
You
in the
might have a
playoffs.
playoff team though.
They should be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like there's no way they shouldn't be in the playoffs. Seattle is going through a lot of turmoil right now. Obviously with Russell Wilson and all this other shit going on, and we don't know what their roster looks like. Can they bring people there? Are they going to pay Jamal Adams? Like there's so many questions there. Then you're going to go over to San Francisco where it's like, hey, we were hurt and we're probably
it's a bounce back year.
Right. And I mean, they lost their big thing is their defense, and they lost Robert Saleh. So we're going to see how much of an effect that has. They're bringing back Jimmy G probably because there's no other real option out there. And they have to hope he's healthy again unless they get a good backup.
Yeah. Unless they pull off a thing for Deshaun, it's Jimmy G.
Right. So we got to see what that is. I don't want to say they're a lock or they're not, but they'll
be contending.
They should be contending for it.
They were never an easy game for anybody this year, and they were riddled with injuries the whole year.
And I'm not gonna lie, they folded. Like they folded a bunch of times. Like they shouldn't have lost to Detroit. They shouldn't have lost to Carolina. They shouldn't have lost to Miami. Miami was a tough game, though. I'll give you that one. But like they shouldn't have even beat the Bills. So they had they were in close games this year, and it depends on what Cardinals team showed up. And I understand losing Chandler Jones towards the end of the season probably hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe that's an effect, but they still have some holes on that roster. So before we celebrate too much, I just want to look at it and be like, hey, all right, JJ should get you out of the playoffs, but what JJ are you getting? And what Kyler Murray and what Cliff Kingsbury are you getting?
Yeah, a lot of questions over there. But since we just brought up Mr. Wilson, it's just every day something new with this guy.
Something new. So for y'all that are living under a rock, but somehow have access to our podcast, shout out to you, number one. But Russell Wilson gave the most passive-aggressive news break of all time, where he came out and said, hey, I don't want to leave Seattle, but if they are going to trade me, I'll go to Chicago, New Orleans, or Vegas. It's also been rumored that teams that have called about him are the Jets, the Dolphins. I don't know if they said the Niners, but they said Vegas too. So Vegas is the only one to show up in both. I know we've talked about this a bunch now. It's probably the third time we've talked about Russell Wilson, how we both said we don't see him going anywhere, but is it becoming more likely? How you feeling now?
It's a little bit like Deshaun, right? We're talking about a superstar quarterback who we never thought would be moved a month ago. And then it starts off with something little like, hey, I could use some help on the O-line. And then it turns into y'all ain't helping me at all. And then, we don't get this guy. I'm not happy here. And it turns out to be a thing. Me and you both thought, actually, you brought up Deshaun possibly being moved, but we didn't truly think it would turn into this.
It was just one of those things to bring up, hey, maybe if I'm him, I might be thinking about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if you're Russell Wilson, it's almost that same thing. Yeah, we're good every year, we make the playoffs, but he really doesn't. I mean, he has weapons in Metcalf and Lockett. Run game is inconsistent because Carson's hurt all the time. He's not a great back anyway, and the defense obviously has fallen way down since they were Super Bowl contending.
Right.
So it's tough for Russell. I see his complaints, and I'm not mad at them. I'm just not sure how they would pull off a trade, and can you get enough back to replace a guy like Russell Wilson when you were a playoff team last year? So I still don't see it happening, but I said the same thing about Deshaun. So I wouldn't be completely blown away if all of a sudden they're like, we'll take 4 first for Wilson. And they've already came out saying it would at least take 3. The fact they're even talking about it is kind of crazy.
I think I'm starting to put that to the side too, though. This idea that people aren't getting talked about, I think that's over. I think we're never going to see guys like Larry Fitz and like Kobe and Dirk and guys that play with the same franchise for 20 years anymore, because players are – some people want to say players are quick to leave, which to a degree it is, but teams are quicker to get rid of guys too. Hey, let's hit the reset button and not be mediocre. Because if you think about it, right, in today's age, if Kobe was around, God rest his soul, he was sitting around when the Lakers had Smush Parker and Andrew Bynum, and I mean Andrew Bynum was good, but like Smush Parker and Lamar Odom, and before they got Powell, and Kobe was thinking about leaving, and they just said, you know what, we're gonna get rid of Kobe and we're gonna build around Bynum. Like, it's crazy to say out loud, but that could have happened.
Right, it could have, no doubt.
Like in today's modern age, it probably would happen.
Oh, I think honestly, if we were talking like today's landscape in sports, that definitely would be a thing.
Right, 100%.
Because teams will come out saying, "Oh yeah, I'll give up." Like, imagine Oklahoma City Thunder with 10 first-round picks. Like, they could give up the farm for, like, if obviously Kobe was available back in the day.
Right, and there's going to be a few guys that are exceptions. Like, I think I see Russell Wilson as one of those guys for the NFL. I see Steph Curry as one of those guys in the NBA. I don't think Steph's ever going to not be a Warrior. And if that comes, y'all can – what do you want me to say? Like, no one saw that shit coming.
No.
But when it comes to his complaints, I don't get them 100% because, look, the line is a problem. We know that. There's no way around that. The line's secretly been a problem
for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been there for like 2-3 years now where you're sitting there like, all right, he needs some more help. He's making these magic throws because he's getting pressured. But where are you going to get weapons like DK and Tyler Lockett?
Yeah, they're dogs.
Where are you going to get – I understand what you said about Chris Carson's injury concerns, but he's been top 10 in touchdowns, receiving and rushing combined, probably during the last 2 years. He's been on my fantasy team before, so I know he was getting work.
He could be a starting running back.
He just gets hurt too much. He's the Jimmy Garoppolo of running backs. He produces, but he's always hurt.
Yeah.
And even they had Carlos Hyde there who produced, and they've always been willing to get guys. And obviously the Jamal Adams experiment hasn't worked yet. You still have Quandre Diggs, Bobby Wagner. You need a pass rush. Getting Carlos Dunlap helped a little bit, but not enough. And you just have holes you need to fill. So if I'm Russell Wilson, I'm looking at these teams. He said, all right, Dallas. Well, you got a worse defense over there. The O-line's also decimating. It's not what it used to be, but it's better.
And you have weapons off the galore, though.
Do you? I mean, Zeke. All right, Zeke's better than Chris Carson, no question.
If Zeke is Zeke, you have a ridiculous weapon.
I don't know if Amari Cooper is better than Tyler Lockett or DK Metcalf.
Well, that's you're right. But then you have
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. I couldn't think of his name. CeeDee Lamb obviously looks like he's going to be a star.
He could be. I'm all on the CD train. He's
Michael Gallup is
okay.
Is he the best third option receiver though? He's good.
I don't want to say that, but he's got talent. He's got talent. And then you're going from Pete Carroll to Mike McCarthy, so you're definitely losing coach wise.
Yeah.
When we talk about Vegas, Henry Ruggs is your only receiver, but you have Darren Waller.
Vegas doesn't make sense to me.
I think Vegas makes more sense though because John Gruden and Russell Wilson look like two guys that would fucking get along.
They do.
But
I mean, in terms of winning, I don't see it happening.
But there's a pressure move for Derek Carr. So like if Derek Carr can get this team to 8-8, Russell Wilson should get this team to fucking 11-5.
Right. Maybe.
So I mean, what's it, 11-6 now that we're adding a 17th game,
right?
Like semi-officially. But
yeah, I still believe that his best thing is being in Seattle.
It should. I mean, if it's about not getting hit, I understand why you want to move because all those teams you mentioned probably have better O-lines.
Yeah.
I think Vegas does, Dallas does, New Orleans definitely does, and whatchamacallit, Chicago, I don't know how good their O-line is, but it's not like we notice.
Yeah, no. But none of them have DK or Lockett, really.
Yeah, but none of them have a DK or a Tyler Lockett. I mean, I guess you have Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders in New Orleans, but you pick your point. Plus, Drew has to retire. They're not just going to sit there and be like,
all of a sudden that's like not a real thing anymore.
They're not going to be like, yeah, no, we're going to trade you, Drew. No. So I don't really know what's going to go on with that. I mean, it's interesting, but I don't expect him to move, and if he does, it's going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah, it'd be shocking because never, like in years past, you never see guys like Deshaun or Russell get moved. And right now, it seems Watson is. I still think he's going to get moved, even though they're holding on to him tight, obviously. But it's not going to shock me if Russell gets moved, and you have two guys who are Are they 2 top 5 quarterbacks? Probably.
Yeah, I have them both top 5. Deshaun's
so.
probably 5, and I think
Yeah,
Russ is probably
4.
4.
Yeah, they're right there. 2 top 5 QBs moving franchises. That's probably never happened before.
Yeah, no doubt. And you could argue Russ is top 3. It depends on like what your major importance is. Like,
yeah, you could.
Into that though, since we're talking about Deshaun, I have a big question for you because obviously this saga, he's come out now. He told David Culley like, "Hey, bro, nothing personal, but I'm not gonna be here." He hit the little Magic Johnson, the little Magic Johnson shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my question for you is gonna be: not only does he get moved, or do we see a giant holdout coming up? Do we see him not getting moved and Deshaun pulling a Le'Veon Bell and just not playing?
I really hope that's not the case with Deshaun not playing because he's so damn good. And I want him out of the division as a Colts fan, so I can't wait to the day that the Texans do trade him.
Right.
It's such a tough – we've talked about this before. It's such a tough situation for the new GM there. Their best player, but he's got to get rid of him because he doesn't want to be there anymore. But it's like, bro, you're the only guy I got. I think eventually you're going to have to trade him. And the sad part is for the Texans, which is just the Texans' luck, I guess. Not even luck, they might deserve it, I guess. Is that they probably won't get enough back for Watson. Like they should get, off the top of my head, at least 3 firsts and maybe a player, a defensive player, or if you want to go a quarterback. Like if the Jets were willing to do something, right, like 3 firsts and Sam or whatever. Like that's obviously, like that's literally the minimum. You can't throw me 2 firsts and a player for Deshaun Watson. Jets came at me and said 2 firsts and Sam.
It depends how desperate you are.
It does depend how desperate you are, but I'd be like, hell no. But then you're stuck with a guy who's not playing. So it really might not work out either way for Houston. I think he does get moved. I don't think it's Miami because I think they're actually going to stick with Tua. I think the Jets is still a possibility. The Niners would make sense, but I don't know if they got what it takes to pull it off. It's tough.
Do they have 3 firsts to give?
I don't know.
That's my point because the defensive player shit kind of throws me off because to me that's like it depends where you're picking because I'm not trading Deshaun and not getting my franchise QB.
Right.
So if you're San Francisco, right? All right. People keep throwing Nick Bosa's name in there. I'm gonna shut that shit down right now. They're not trading Nick Bosa. Maybe they'll trade Armstead or like is Solomon Thomas still there? Maybe they'll trade him. Like one of those guys.
Nick Bosa.
Yeah, no, they're not trading Nick Bosa. That's out of the question. Obviously, Carolina has the 8th pick. They're a team.
I forgot about Carolina. Yeah,
I'm in position to take a QB. I'd probably take a defensive player. I don't need Teddy Bridgewater. The Jets. I'll take a defensive player because I'm in for Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or whoever at 2. I mean, Detroit's out of it because they got Jared Goff now.
Yeah.
Philly's probably not going to throw anything in there. But even that's a position where it's like, give me something else so I'm in a position to take a QB. And
Washington?
But Washington's picking 19, so, like, what are you going to give me? Taylor Heineke? Like,
hey, you saw that boy slinging it in the playoffs?
I'm gonna need 3 first, Chase Young and Taylor Heineke.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to get here.
It's a ridiculous situation. And me and you talk basically every day, and every trade rumor that we see on ESPN or Bleacher Report is not enough for Deshaun Watson.
It's hard to match the value, and we keep saying Nick Caserio's in a fucking horrible position. So is I don't want to say David Culley's in a bad position because he's been waiting for this opportunity. So I don't think he gives a fuck who's there.
Yeah, he's like, let me just get a team together.
Like I would love to have Deshaun, but if I'm not, I'm going to be the same coach, same guy, day in, day out. He seems like, he's going to be one of those guys. But for me, I think this is going to lead to a big holdout situation. I don't see either side budging right now because I keep hearing Deshaun's
going to lose a ton of money though.
Is he?
Yeah, he loses. I forget the exact number, but I was listening to a former GM talk, and he's like, everyone says Houston has Deshaun has leverage, but every day Deshaun's not there, they are taking serious money from him.
But not
So
on the
I
guaranteed
don't know if he's
money.
at the point if he cares or not because he has money and he's like, I want to get out of here. But like Houston has some leverage when you're taking the guy's money.
My thing is, I think Houston does have more leverage because it's hard for Deshaun to say, yeah, no, I signed a crazy fucking contract extension last year, but after one season, like fuck y'all, I don't want to be here. Like you're 1 year in, we have you hooked for the next 5.
It's a tough look.
It's hard. On the other hand, though, I can kind of wait this year out because I have the next 4 on my guarantees that don't fucking matter. Like, obviously, I'm not going to get paid crazy this year, but Deshaun Watson's a star. He probably has enough money to get himself, by.
If he doesn't care about the money, then he'll hold out.
Yeah, so that it depends on how serious the situation is. I think we should just prepare for it because we keep talking about the same few teams, and it seems like no one's able to make a move. It seems like the Texans don't want to make a move because of the position it puts the new GM in, and it seems like he doesn't want to play there. So the inevitable thing is just going to be either he shows up to camp. He keeps saying loyalty is everything, too, so I'm confused about that. Like, are you talking about yourself, or are you talking about how they treated other players?
Yeah, that's a little confusing because if he's talking about himself, then he's doing the opposite of it.
Yeah, and the other news today was his their old OC or passing game coordinator or whatever. They let him go, and he just went to Chicago. So maybe Chicago's back on the map where they're like, hey, we'll take 3 firsts and Mitch because they're taking somewhere else, and they want to do a little reclamation project with Mitch Trubisky.
Right.
Which I don't think is too far off.
No, I don't think that's too far off at all.
Because worst case,
it probably won't work, but
I mean, then you're planning on probably being ass that year.
Yeah.
Because you're not
quarterback.
Because we haven't really talked about what direction they're going in. Like, all right, you cut J.J. Watt. All right, you might trade Deshaun, you might not.
What are you doing? They don't have picks right now.
You don't have picks.
You're getting picks, obviously, to try to get a young quarterback, but your team sucks already, and you don't have picks to surround that young QB with. And so it feels like it's going to be horrible for a while.
Right, and what are you doing with that Randall Cobb contract? What are you doing with the Brandon Cooks contract? What are you doing with Laramie Tunsil? What are you doing with David Johnson? You just cut Duke Johnson.
Yep.
What are you doing on that defense? Is Whitney Merciless going to be there for another 100 years? Justin Reed really that great of a safety? Is Bradley Roby that lockdown corner? Like, you just don't have a direction right now. If you get rid of this,
they're about to bring Matt Shaw back.
I mean, shit, might as well.
Arian Foster. They're about to bring that team back.
But can they? Because guys like Andre Johnson are sitting there like, yeah, no, I haven't tweeted since I made my Twitter account. But you know what? Deshaun should get the fuck out of Houston. Fuck Jack Easterby. Fuck Cal McNair and all them.
I know. And Jack Easterby gets so much hate. And it's funny because every other team he's been to, the players have said they liked him. So since he's got to Houston, though, it seems like he's been set on fire. So it's weird.
So, I mean, I guess that's the part where people are saying, like with JJ, like, who knows what's true nowadays.
Yeah.
So I guess we're on that. But in other news, because we're staying on quarterbacks, as you mentioned, Alex Smith is getting cut by Washington. And I think it's funny because it comes conveniently after someone made some statements about them not wanting him there.
Yeah. It's like, obviously, for the franchise's direction, it makes sense. He's obviously not your long-term quarterback. But it's almost like I would have kept him on the roster for another year. Like, it's just a tough look when he comes back and he's your NFL comeback player of the year. And actually, like, you guys win when he's technically playing quarterback. Mm-hmm. You lost a playoff game without him. Obviously, we know he'd probably get hurt again and be out. But it's a tough look when you see him get cut after the year he had.
I don't want to say it's a tough look because, like you said, it makes sense. There's no reason to really have him there. I mean, if he just came out and said y'all didn't want him there, and he had issues there, and
Washington get a name first.
They need they need a quarterback. Like I think it's clear, and I'm actually going to throw a name out there that it obviously depends on how free agency. I'm saying assuming free agency isn't too crazy and people stay in similar positions.
Okay.
I'd throw in a 5th for Gardner Minshew.
I'm not mad at that.
throw him with the little Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke experiment. See if he gets along with Terry McLaurin. He's got some talent. He's just getting done shitty because
So would you rather do that than drafting a young QB?
it depends who's there. Like
Well,
I'm not drafting
you're at
Kyle
19,
Trask at 19.
exactly. You're getting a not a top 10 quarterback. You could move up maybe.
If Trey Lance is there, I'd take him.
I mean, Mac Jones has now moved up boards, but like when boards first came out, he was down in that area.
I don't think Mac Jones is falling past New England though.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I'm just saying, you never know.
You got to look at those second tier guys. Like, all right, so Mitch is probably going to be a free agent, right? That's what seems likely. Maybe you bring Mitch, monitor the Sam situation. Maybe Jacoby Brissett is worth bringing in if y'all aren't bringing him back. I'm trying to think of who else is out there. There's going to be a no-name QB there, and I don't put it past Ron Rivera to say, fuck it, I'm keeping
Heineke,
Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke. And
Heineke, we showed what he could do in that playoff. Obviously, we don't think he's a franchise QB, but he has some skill. He's not a total scrub, I don't want to say.
I think he's a backup right now. That's
people stop with the Cam Newton to Washington.
I don't put that past Ron Rivera either because he went to the Super Bowl once and thinks it's the only way to go.
Move.
What'd you say?
I said I would put it past Ron Rivera because he loves having guys he's already had.
Yeah.
But that would be a bad move, though.
I don't want to say it's a bad move. I just don't think.
I just don't think that would work.
But what is Washington really striving to do? Are they striving to just win a bad division again?
Probably.
Because I think this year was a fluke.
Yeah, of course.
Like you went 7-9, you made the playoffs, you lost the game. All right, that's because your division's ass. I think Dallas.
Dallas coming into here will be the favorite.
If Dallas doesn't win that division next year, they are. And I hope John Intel's listening. I hope he is. I'm gonna look in the fucking camera for this one. I'm really close to the mic and all that shit. All right. If Dallas does not win the division next year, that franchise is more of a dumpster fire than the New York Jets. You heard it here first. Because Philly does not look like they should be anything. They're getting rid of players left and right. The Giants are fake. They're the little Giants. Do not fucking buy them at any point.
Still playing QB.
And if Washington wins the division back-to-back years and they have someone like Taylor Heineke and not a big name, oh, boy. You know what? Do it. Let Dak go to Washington. Y'all roll with Andy Dalton. Let it happen. I'm waiting because
I'll fuck them up.
It's just like I'm starting to understand the Dallas hate. Before I never used to understand it. I never used to get it. And now I'm looking and I'm like, we're not talking about them like they should win this division next year. Yeah,
they're clearly the most talented team, I think, if you look on paper.
So like why aren't we saying that they are solidified?
That tends to be the case every year, but for some reason.
But we know they're gonna fold it. That's gotta be the issue, right? So I mean, New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, Houston Texans, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, they're.
Those are some big franchises too. That's crazy.
And for the amount of you're talking about paying people, you're paying everybody in the world that doesn't deserve it. But we paid Leighton Vander Esch because he looks cool in a fucking neck pad.
Neck thing, yeah.
He got a nice little horseshoe around his neck, so we're gonna pay him more money, even though he gets hurt every 10 seconds. We're gonna keep acting like Sean Lee's 21, but in reality he's 48. We're gonna look at what you call it, Jalen Smith.
We're gonna continue to sign guys who've been to prison and try to re.
We're gonna make Zach Martin play every position on the O-line at the same time.
Right.
We're not gonna play Dak. We're gonna let Zeke. Zeke's. I like Zeke and Jalen Smith. Those are two good guys. Yeah. Amari Cooper's going to get paid to stand there and say that he played at Alabama and was compared to Julio Jones one time. So
you better hope CeeDee Lamb really pops off like DK or something.
He's nice too. I hope he stays there. They have some talent there. It's not that they have bums. It's just that the way I don't understand. Like for the credit that they get, they don't deserve any of it anytime. And for the fact that we're even lowering expectations for the way people talk about this team. It is crazy.
Hey, can they trade Dak and some stuff for Russell Wilson? He was on Wilson's list, of course, being on the star.
If I'm Seattle and I know the situation and he does really want out that bad, I would take that because I think Dak's.
Both teams.
I don't even want to say it works for. It doesn't. I don't think it works for Russell Wilson. I don't know why that team is on his fucking list.
Yeah, because it's a star. It's Dallas. It's America's team. Even though we know it's not really America's team, actually.
I also have a little conspiracy theory though with this Russ shit. To get back into it, I almost forgot about it.
Let me hear it.
Everybody that watched the Super Bowl, right? There's a point where, I believe it's in the first half, zoomed in on Roger Goodell talking to Russell Wilson. All I'm gonna say is he doesn't want out of Seattle, but we need some QB drama to get this offseason going. Hey, how you feel about like saying you want to play for Dallas and like say you want to play for like New Orleans or something?
What I guarantee you got, I'm gonna bump that up a little bit. No one's gotta know about it.
Yeah, you feel me? And like we'll find we got a place for you in the NFL office. I promise you that.
Maybe I wouldn't put it past Goodell.
Oh my gosh! But I feel like that's really it on football. What other football news do we have?
It's the off season now, so now it's just
It's been slow. It's been slow.
Of course.
I mean, it's been a little weird. I mean, I'm trying to think of new stuff that's like trying to been good for the NFL. Things that have been going around.
Breeze talking about coming back all of a sudden. That's got to stop.
It's one of those. Like, he's got that dog in him.
I'm not going out like that. You come back, it's going to be worse, guy. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
I want, like... And
I like Breeze. I'm not trying to hate on Breeze.
Maybe he'll Phillip Rivers it.
Nah, he ain't Phillip Rivers.
I mean, who knows, man? Like, maybe that's why he wants to come back. Hey, yo, this is the dude that replaced me, bro. I can't go out. Like, I'm going to go out after him. Fuck him.
Or you think he's mad Tom's going to break all his records?
He's just trying to outlast Tom.
Like, let me get a couple more yards, a couple more touchdowns. Like, he can't keep playing forever. Let me just keep going a little bit by little bit.
I mean, I don't know. Like, he was bad last year. Let's not go around it. I mean, we still call him a top 10 QB because of what he can do and how the Saints performed. And, like, it does get attributed to him to a degree. It's just maybe he missed Michael Thomas a little too much.
When it's time, it's time. Don't hurt your career by doing these last 2 years dirty.
I don't think it's gonna hurt though. It's just one of those things. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a legend. He got a ring. Just peace out.
Yeah, you know what it is. Well, all right, y'all. We don't have much NFL for y'all today, so we're probably gonna take an early break and then talk our asses off for the NBA because there's a lot of shit to get into. Yeah. So, listen to this quick message, from the guy, the dudes. The man, you feel me? And we'll be right back.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Brendan Murphy, host of the Murphy's Law podcast. Every Tuesday and Friday, I bring you the latest news and notes from around the world of sports. We mostly cover baseball, football, and golf, and I bring in a lot of different guests to help me break down the biggest news of the week. If you're enjoying Brofluent, be sure to come and check out Murphy's Law every Tuesday and Friday, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, or wherever you get your podcasts. I hope to see you there, and enjoy the rest of this episode of Brofluent.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that quick message from Murphy's Law. Per usual, go like, comment, subscribe, download. He also took a little hiatus, too, so go make sure you subscribe to your boy's channel.
Show him some love.
Your boy's pod, your boy's little thing. What do they call it on the pod? It's not a channel. YouTube is the channel. The profile?
Yeah.
Or just the pod? Can we just do just the pod?
Yeah, I like that. It's nice, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, it's something cute like that. You feel me?
Yeah. Oh my God.
But go like, comment, subscribe to Murphy's Law and your boys. As usual, give us a rating. Anything under 5 stars, keep to yourself.
You trying to fight? Because, like, they're going to be a problem.
I mean, we could, but, like, I'm not going to get violent. You feel me? It's just you've been warned, all right? But in other news, we are back with the NBA. NFL was kind of short. Before JJ Watt stuff, it was almost really short. But
I'm obsessed with the NBA. Every day I'm watching 2 games at the minimum. It's fantastic.
It's been a lot. And shout out to Tom. Tom hit on a big bet. It wasn't our best bets. We missed our best bets by 1 because Lonzo didn't hit a third 3.
We'll take 4-1.
But we'll take 4-1, and Tom got a little humble payday.
Well, 5 for 360. I ain't mad at that.
That's why I got it. That's why I got to look at it, yo.
I think if I had real money and I put like 50 on it, and how much I would have won.
Don't do that, because
I know, but that can't
put
lose.
their check. Y'all told me to put my check on it.
Yeah,
Best bets.
But you know,
it is what it is. But
I need to. Did you see PJ Washington's stat line?
Didn't he have like 40?
He had like 43, and I needed the Hornets +3, and they were down, I want to say 8 with like 40 seconds. And I'm like, God damn it. There goes my last leg of the parlay. PJ Washington catches it. One dribble pull-up from 3. We're talking PJ Washington. Bombs. No. And then they get the ball back, and what happens. Malik Monk gets an and one. LaMelo making plays going up. PJ Washington, thank you for the $360, because without you, I would have been broke.
You bet on your boy. You definitely bet on your boy, though.
I did.
And PJ bailed you out, so he's your boy now.
I tell you, I love Charlotte. They're my sleeper pick. They're living up to it.
Yo, and those picks are going kind of good for Tom and bad for me right now, because Houston's in the basement. And you know what? I'd say it, but it's just like it was one of those things where the real teams I believed in weren't bold enough, so I just had to pull something out my ass. And to give you a little bit of defense here, or defend you a little bit is what I mean. There was a path for the Rockets to be good this year. Like if you looked at it, you said, "Oh, they got Wall, they got Boogie, they got Christian Wood, now they got Oladipo." Like they had James Harden too. I thought he was getting held hostage. I thought he was going to play.
You're like, I could see them like doing some things, but obviously now they are 11-21 and just a bad team.
Don't worry, I still got Nets Lakers finals, and you know who's winning that. So it is what it is.
You're right on Philly too, because they're the 1 seed.
But y'all told me that wasn't cool enough, so
yeah, because it wasn't. But it's fine.
I'll be cool for y'all. It is what it is. All right. But in serious news today, Lloyd Pierce got fired. We didn't mention last episode, Ryan Saunders also got fired, but like Minnesota has 7 wins. He got hired because his dad is historic for the franchise. He gave it a shot. Like, I hope he's an assistant coach somewhere else. Kudos to him.
I don't want to say he's a bad coach either. He never had a full team, so I want to defend him a little bit. But also him getting fired, like I'm not like, oh my God, he shouldn't have gone.
I think it's just one of those. It's gonna be a while till he gets his next opportunity. I don't think people are scratching to get him, and you landed in a perfect situation and it just didn't pan out. Not perfect, but like perfect organizational wise. Like, hey, I'm a legacy kid. You know what I mean?
Tell me what you feel about Lloyd Pierce getting fired. He deserved it.
Lloyd, I'm torn on because now they're saying that the players found out through Twitter.
Yeah, no, they didn't know.
And Atlanta did not tell them, and I think that tells something about your front office. I think this team is obviously built to go to the playoffs. They invested a lot of money in going into the playoffs this year with Bogdanovic, even though he got hurt.
Capella at the end of the year last year.
Yeah, with Capella, obviously with Capella, he's been good now, but he was hurt at the beginning of the year. Gallo's been on and off the court. DeAndre Hunter's been off the court recently, but playing
really good when he's on the court, though.
Right, and it sounds like they want to get rid of John Collins, but I don't know why.
He's been balling lately.
He's been balling for the last 2 years. He's been averaging 20 points on like
night, I believe.
And he's averaging like what 48, 35, 75 or like 85 or some shit like that. Like he's got some good splits, so
I think he's a good player, no doubt.
And before we get into that, actually, since I mentioned shooting splits, whoever on Twitter came out and said, I sent you this the other day. Someone said something about D-Book not being an all-star. We're gonna get into that stuff in a little bit, but we're on a erratic pace right now. We're going through everything.
That's what we do.
So someone said, "Oh, you got to take off Zion." I said, that's hard to do when you're shooting 60 from the field, 30 from 3, and 70 from the free throw line, while averaging 25 points.
Mm-hmm. In your second year in the NBA.
Yeah. And Duke came out and said, "Oh, shooting percentages matter now?" LOL. Yeah. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a world where they didn't matter.
Isn't that the same reason?
What is he referring to with that?
I don't know. Isn't that the same reason why half of Twitter hates on Russ all the time?
That's off my head. It's like he must be talking about when Russ made the All-Star team, but if you say a guy who averages a triple-double doesn't deserve to be on the All-Star team, then you're probably an idiot.
I have no idea. I just wanted to make sure when y'all are listening, yes, shooting percentage does.
Of course it
matter.
matters.
It might not be everything, but yes, it matters.
Hilarious thing.
Back to Lloyd Pierce though. I don't want to say it was his time to go. I don't want to say it was his time to go, but like 2.5 years, you're kind of stagnant. I guess it was. And they have Nate McMillan there too, so maybe that was the setup of hiring him as an assistant. And I think
Pacers.
And I think he's gonna get a lot out of him. So how about you? How do you feel?
When they hired Lord Pierce a couple years ago, I was like, oh, nice, like a young coach. Like, this makes sense. A young team, a young coach, like they're gonna come up together. But they've underperformed if we're being real. I feel like, we knew they were bad when he first got there. But every year it was like, all right, let's see improvement now. We got Trey, who seems to be a star. We got players like John Collins. Now they have good players. DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, those are good young players. Bogdanovich. But they're still underperforming. And this goes back to, and I know I deserve credit for this, because you know how I say all the time when teams try to jump the line and rush the process, and I felt like the Hawks did that. And right now, it's biting them in the ass. If Nate McMillan could save it, hats off to him because he's a phenomenal coach. I think he is a great coach. But when you jump the line and you try to rush the process, which I think what the move with Capella was for, even though Capella's been playing good, I think they rushed him to just let the young guys get better together and groom. And now you're seeing what happens when it doesn't work, and it's like, shit, we have good young guys, but we're still not winning. What the hell is our path to winning right now? We tried to rush it. That didn't work. So now you're a little stagnant, like you've said. And Lloyd Pierce getting fired, like, I'm fine with it. Like, your team's underperforming, you're going to get fired, I guess. Right. Especially with guys like Trey averaging almost 30. Like, you're going to have eyeballs on you. I think you need to look at Atlanta's front office. I know they're trying to build like the Warriors did with Curry and Thompson. Like, I never thought that was going to work anyway. You don't find Curry and Thompson every year. Like,
definitely didn't find Thompson.
Like, no, you struck out when you try to say Kevin Huerter was Klay Thompson. Like, you don't just find those guys. Even every 5 years, you don't find a Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson combo that's going to work like that. So I just thought that was like the way to NBA. Like, if you find the new wave, then you hit. When you try to copy, it doesn't seem to work out. And that's what it's been for the Hawks. I think they're rushing it. Nate McMillan hopefully can get it back together. I love Trey. He's cold, obviously. Collins is a questionable. I think we say he's good, but his fit on the team is a little questionable, in my opinion. Like, you have Hunter and Reddish, who Reddish might not be able. I think Hunter could probably play the 4 if you're playing small ball, which they might want to do. Collins, like, I could see why they have been wanting to move him in the past, but he's playing so good now that I would question moving him.
See,
it's tough, but it's hard with him.
Yeah, I think it's hard with him too, because when you're looking at it, I don't want to say they tried to buy the win now thing, because I don't think they were like, I forgot Rondo's on the team too. Shit.
I thought that trade for Capella was like, hey, we're trying to make playoffs now. We're definitely making next year. Like, no, y'all aren't.
I didn't think it made sense at the time, but in hindsight, they were having a big problem. They didn't want to put, like, they ran through Dwayne Dedman and Alex Len and been like that. So they said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just trade for Capella. And what did they give up in the Capella trade? Like, if we're going to be realistic, I can't name anything they got. And if they gave up picks, their whole team is full of first-round picks, so it's not like that fucking matters.
Right.
When it comes to signing Gallinari, I thought that was a good fit. I thought getting Bogdanovich was actually a little, like, reachy if you wanted to play Kevin Huerter and, Cam Reddish and DeAndre. Like, those are guys I didn't really understand. I thought Gallo made sense because I thought they've been talking about getting rid of John Collins for years now.
Gallo's
I don't understand why. I think John Collins is a perfect fit. He's a high-flying guard. He's a high-flying forward that can work in the pick and roll with Trae Young, and he can space the floor and shoot threes.
Yeah, he's good. So, a lot of teams would be having him.
I get they just don't want to pay him, but like,
I don't.
Why not? It's Atlanta. Someone's gonna want to stay there. Quavo's down the block. Like, what are we talking about?
It's tough, and I know that. I think who's in the front office there.
Danny Ferry's still there?
Is it?
I have no idea because that's the last time Atlanta was rolling. Atlanta's been on some shitty ends. I listened to the Woj pod probably a few months back when he put out the Giannis series. Atlanta
Mhm.
was one pick away from getting Giannis, and they were the ones that were like, "Yo, we're taking him. Like, we don't give a fuck. Like, he's gonna be ours. Like, I don't care if we have to get him at 15." They tried to trade up, all this shit, and then Milwaukee, who wasn't talked about the whole fucking pod, just ended up snagging him right before them.
That's nuts.
And then obviously the Luka for Trey trade. Like if Trey ends up leaving, that's gonna go down as a bust.
Right.
The
Luka trade as well, you can't even. I mean, Luka's.
It's an even trade.
Yeah, like it's worked out for both of them.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard to say it was Lloyd's time, but it is what it is.
And Nate McMillan will probably obviously get that spot.
Happy he's getting another opportunity.
Well, the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers were obviously a playoff team, but
he didn't deserve to get fired for that. No way in hell. Next, we have some G League news.
Ooh.
And buckle your seatbelts because this is going to be a rowdy one. There's a current investigation within the G League regarding Jeremy Lin. For y'all that don't know, he is playing for the Warriors G League team, I believe. He's playing with Nico Mannion and them.
Yeah, I believe so.
And I don't know if they played the Ignite team, but they played somebody, and it has been reported that Jeremy Lin was called a slur during the game, and the slur turned out to be called coronavirus. Obviously, because he is Chinese American.
Right.
Obviously, we don't condone that. It's very insensitive and inappropriate, but it's also really bad fucking trash talk.
Yeah, it's like, what? Am I supposed to be like, you supposed to get me off my game with that?
Yeah, like that was weak. Like I don't know what that was supposed to do.
Like we've obviously both been in games where people, it's more like, trash talking. I'm not, of course, the NBA, but I'm sure it's probably like, yo, you soft ass bitch. Like, right? Like that's like shit you do in the game.
Like when Montrezl called Luka, what do you call him, soft ass white boy or some shit like that?
Yeah, like, all right, that's pretty standard trash talk, right?
You hear that a lot.
Yeah, we're all like, all right, yeah, like that's just banter. That's what it is.
Yeah. You
heard something like Corona, it's just like, wait, what? Like, what did you say?
I don't know what the context was. Like,
we're talking to Jeremy Lin. Like, I know these young guys in the G League, whatever, but like, I'd have some respect for Jeremy Lin if I was a G League player.
100%. You should have respect for any protest down there, realistically.
I don't know if I'd be talking shit. I mean, obviously, it's just a game, but I don't know if I'd be talking shit like that to a guy who's. Does he have a ring?
Yes, with Toronto.
Right, with Toronto?
He was on the bench for that.
When Danny was a thing for like a month. Like, that boy's had more recognition probably than any of you G Leaguers are going to get. So.
And half of y'all would pay for the spotlight he was under in New York.
And his bank account was probably much larger than y'all.
Get the money he got from Houston, even though it didn't work out. Play with Kobe and the Lakers the way he did. Like, Jeremy Lin's no scrub.
Oh.
Like, he just
ball.
He's just been a victim of some poor situations where it's like, all right, I'm on a rebuilding Lakers team. All right, I was looked at to be the star in Houston. I never really was that. I was in New York, but obviously it's Melo's team, and like I kind of split the New York media, and that made it difficult. And then he went to resurrect his career in Brooklyn, and he was playing great, and then he tears both ACLs. So he has to go to China. Like, it's a difficult situation. So obviously that was fucking stupid to say. Like, it's not, and to be straight, like, not to get political or anything like that, I don't know anybody that really equates any Asian American person, well, publicly, like they could say what they say, they want in their own home, but I don't know any person that sees like Asian American people and is like, like COVID, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think it equates to them because it's fucking everywhere.
Right.
So
it's silly.
Yeah, so I think that was really stupid to categorize him that way, and I also think it was really stupid to say during a game because it's really bad trash talk, and no matter what you were trying to do, it's like, bro, that wasn't even good. If I was Jeremy Lin, I would have fucking laughed at him.
I know.
And then give him 30.
Yeah, exactly. I would have freaking jabbed 3 right in his mouth. Bow.
Right. So hopefully everything gets solved. Shout out to Jeremy Lin, though, for not giving that person
Dude.
the news towards them and the hate towards them, because while what he said is stupid, most of the guys in G League are, they're kids. They're around our age. They're young adults, but this new wave of like bashing everyone that says something, like I think we all got to cool down a little off that and not cancel everyone for.
I would say so.
Yeah, that's a little crazy, but it is what it is. And to stay on that topic, there's also been some drama with your boy, LeBron James.
Nope.
So this is something that's also a little quick topic, not really basketball related, but you'd probably want to get it out of the way now. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the soccer player. Shout out to me for getting that name right.
That was fire.
The soccer player that obviously people know. I think he plays for LA Galaxy and over AC Milan or whatever it is. Soccer fans, y'all know what to do.
Yeah.
Y'all just correct me.
You know what the fuck.
Yeah, you know who we're talking about. He was in an interview, and from what I see, I couldn't find the whole interview. We try to pride ourselves on that, trying to see the whole big picture. But the best I can get was literally him answering that question. And it was said in another language, so I didn't even hear anything about it. But he was talking about LeBron James.
Yeah.
And Zlatan said he liked him, but the only thing was he doesn't like when athletes get involved in politics, and thinks it's a mistake of getting the fame and not stay. Basically, he said stay in your lane in the sense of I'm good at soccer, I play soccer. He said I'm good at football, I play football. So that's his ideal on it, as I see it. And then people brought that to Bron, and obviously Bron said that's not going to make me stop, as it shouldn't.
Yeah.
And people have been coming at him pretty hard. So how do you feel about it?
It's obviously, I don't think just because you play in any professional sport, that's the only thing you have to do. I mean, that's clearly kind of a stupid thing to say. But it's also very clear that politics and sports don't really mix well. We've seen ratings of the NBA, the NFL, MLB, everything that mixes in politics, they do go to shit for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's anything, whether it's like, troubles we have now or troubles we had 50 years ago, whatever it is.
Right.
They tend not to mix well because when people watch sports, they're trying to get away from that shit. Mm-hmm. They're not trying to turn on this and watch, anything has to do with politics. They're trying to watch a game. And I understand, but I think obviously LeBron is right where he can do whatever the hell he wants.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, best player in the league, and if he wants to say how he feels in politics, he's allowed to say that. Right. But also, this is Leighton dude, who I don't know much about. I just know he's a B soccer player. If he thinks he shouldn't talk politics, then that's what he thinks. Like you said, it's not really that big of a deal to me. But people in the media blow the shit up like they're gonna fucking fight if they saw each other over it.
Yeah, I think, and you know what? I think that's a great point to go into, because for me, all right, everything Bron is involved in, the I Promise School, everything that he's done, he should continue. He's a champion of what he does. And you know what? No matter how you feel, you could feel that maybe he's not as informed on certain things. Maybe he's really informed on certain things. That's called being a person.
Yeah.
He's not going to know everything. He's going to be a part of everything he can do. For the things he might not be so knowledgeable about, he is still going to talk on. And do you know what you have the power to do? Not fucking listen. That's like, it's not that hard. You can't be so overly sensitive about it. But unfortunately for some people, it also works both ways, because Zlatan saying this, let's put in perspective. He's a Swedish soccer player. All right. Things go down differently in Europe and in Sweden and in Asia and in other countries.
Let's be real. Probably not as much drama as there is here.
And when you think about it too, other countries, 9 times out of 10, don't really have the benefit of having their star athletes be involved in and having as much of a say in the political atmosphere as athletes here do. And obviously there's a situation of you have, the police brutality and situations like that, where you're talking about, Jim Crow and things that have happened in the past and civil rights and stuff like that. And other countries haven't really had to deal with that as much.
Yeah.
So that's another thing where I also feel he should have been like, he doesn't know that.
Mhm.
Like, it's okay to be ignorant sometimes. He's a little ignorant of the statements.
They're different.
Understand the
people have
times.
different opinions. That's all it is.
100%. And I think that's basically what we got to realize about it. I saw Baron Davis came out and was like, the Galaxy are ass. Zlatan, don't even come to LA. You're not around here. Like, I think that's
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's an overreaction because you're sitting there and you're like, bro, he's from overseas. He doesn't really know what's going on. Like, dude's ignorant to it. You're going to say he shouldn't have opened his mouth, right? The same way he's going to say that other people shouldn't open their mouth about shit.
Yeah.
It's a part of life. Stop thinking it's so sensitive. But I do agree when you say most people are coming to sports to stay away from politics.
Yeah.
So no matter how you feel how you may, do what the fuck you want. Do that. Be proud. Let the guys talk and do their shit. If you don't want to listen, shut it off and watch the game later or whatever.
Right.
Watch it on mute if you fucking want. I don't care. If you like that, like if you like it that much, you're gonna do it. So
yeah.
Those are our tough topics today, obviously.
Yeah.
And we got so is there any other NBA news? Any other big NBA? Oh, Victor Oladipo turned down a contract.
Yeah, he just wants out, obviously.
Now it makes sense why Houston was about to trade him. I was so confused. I didn't understand how you passed up on Karis LeVert to bring in a guy to trade him.
It's like he's just hunting for Miami. That's been the rumor with him for 3 years now.
Yeah, I don't.
But I don't even know if Miami's going to want him at this point.
I don't know who's going to want him at this point.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Obviously, he hasn't been able to showcase what he can do because of his injuries in the past and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for some. Oh, Joakim Noah retired. Shout out to him. Give him his flowers. Officially retired, and he wants to retire as a Bull. So expect a little one-day contract coming out of that.
That's cool.
The Nets are shopping Spencer Dinwiddie. Probably as expected. We need something else, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. He's a partially torn ACL, and bringing him back solely for the playoffs is probably not the best idea.
He'll get paid by somebody still.
Supposedly Detroit wants him.
Which is
weird.
Just fits Detroit, of course.
They just never have any direction ever. Nope. NBA suspended Malik Beasley for 12 games from his arrest over the offseason. He owned up to it. He took his thing. He's gonna, do his stuff. I thought they were gonna KCP it and have him play with an ankle monitor or some shit.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was crazy. But probably because they have to travel and stuff, and maybe his stuff isn't Minnesota related. So I don't know with that, but hopefully he does what he has to do and gets back on the court. He's a big player, having a breakout year. Kinda. He's been scoring 20 since he got to Minnesota last year. So
yeah, he's like the only option when Cat wasn't there.
Hey, the Ant-Man showing up. Watch my guy sneak and take the all.
I like him. Just inefficient right now. That's all it is.
He's like we said before. I still see him as like Victor Oladipo 2.0. Like he's
gonna be good. He's definitely a freak athlete. He's got skill.
He got a little. His shot's coming around. He just got to pick and choose. He definitely got game, bro. He slides to the lane crazy. All right. So I think Obi Toppin's gonna be in the dunk contest.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. Shout out to the Knicks. Let's talk about the Knicks for a second.
Yeah, let's bring up a couple playoff teams real quick.
Let's talk about the Knicks real quick because they are a playoff team. They're the 5th.
They're the 4th.
They're the 4th.
First time they're both
17.
They're the 4th team. Before the year started, we're talking about the Knicks. Still no direction, crumbling, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might have a home playoff game, Seek. Home playoff series, I should say.
Yeah, I don't want to say that too early.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, hey, look, people were shitting on Julius Randle last year, and I was kind of pumping the brakes on it. Obviously, he wasn't playing great, but I was like, yo, if you're averaging 20 and 8, I was like, if you're averaging 20 and 8 on the Knicks with everything that was going on, fuck everything else you're talking about. Like, you paid him. He does what he does, all right? And now he's a fucking all-star.
Now he's definitely an all-star. I mean, Tom Thibodeau deserves a lot of credit.
Oh, tons. Coach of the Year consideration.
Of course. D. Rose has played very well for the Knicks. Fit right in. Barrett has his games. Quickly looks like steal the draft maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So first time in a while, they're actually looking like a basketball team.
I'll admit I was wrong about Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton is not still a decent point guard. He should not be playing with those guys in front of him. So
Rose and Quickly, you get enough minutes these days.
it's just it's too much. But they still went in a weird direction, and somehow it's working.
Somehow it's working. So we'll give them credit because it's the first time they've been good.
Yeah, and we got to, like, for y'all that didn't see the video, there's images of Knicks fans out there losing their fucking mind.
They're going crazy.
And I'm not gonna lie, I love tuning into. Obviously, I got love for both, so we know what it is.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, part of me is also like, how long can it last? I'm waiting for it to blow up. Like, I think they're gonna get into the playoffs, but I think it's gonna be like an 8th seed or a 7th seed. I don't think this.
They're 18 and 17, right?
Right.
Look at the 9 seed. It's the Pacers at the moment, and they're 15 and 17. So we're talking a
3-game difference.
Not even. See,
2.5.
No, a game and a half. A game and a half difference between the 4 seed and the 9 seed.
The East is tough, right? I don't want to say it's tough. It's just the East is disappointing right now.
Yeah, they got a lot of teams that are close, which makes it fun, but the teams are disappointing.
It's the top 3, and then Boston fell off crazy.
Boston, Toronto, Indiana
fell off
Miami.
crazy.
They're starting to win again now.
Miami and Toronto are climbing their way back. They were in the basement at the beginning.
And you have the Bulls at 10, too, who are 15 and 17. So I should say, sorry,
I think the Bulls are going to fall out. The Bulls
agree.
are going to fall out. They're not going to do anything. I think Washington might sneak in.
Starting to play better now.
They're definitely trying to get together. What they won? 5 out of their last 7?
Feels ridiculous. I watched that game against Boston last night. He's insanely good at basketball.
He's a dog. And something you also have to consider is some of the teams we're mentioning have been COVID riddled. Like Miami had a COVID issue. Toronto did. Boston did. Washington did. So, like, it's a weird season. You got to see. Plus, you had the playing game this year.
Which will make it fun, I think, will be a 4-5 matchup in the East is going to be tight, whoever it is. But the first 3 are probably going to be blowout series, to be honest.
Do you think everyone in that I know we don't pay attention to divisions in basketball anymore, but you think everyone in that division for the it's the Nets, Celtics,
Toronto, right?
Nets, Celtics, Knicks, Toronto, Boston, and Philly. That Atlantic, I think that's the Atlantic or whatever. I think that whole division can get into the playoffs.
I actually really do think they can.
It sounds like it. It sounds like they should.
That would be pretty nuts, actually. And now that I think about it, I was like, maybe these 3, like, I was going to say, like, there could be some upsets, but Philly's going to blow the fuck out of whoever's the 8 seed.
Most likely.
Brooklyn's going to absolutely destroy whoever's at 7.
Most likely.
And Milwaukee's going to be playing. If it's Boston, okay, we got a series.
As long as they're not playing Miami, they should be good in the first round, I think.
Yeah, if it's Miami, of course, you got. But other than that,
if we think about it, what Boston would be at 6.
Yeah, they're at 6 right now. It's 17-17.
If Boston's at 6, they still didn't find out the Kemba issue. Maybe Marcus Smart is still not back to 100%. Right. Jaylen Brown's probably not carrying the load that he was at the beginning of the season, and it's just Jason Tatum and a bunch of former first-round picks and second-round and Peyton Pritchard.
Now, the Hornets make the playoffs. That'd be sweet with LaMelo.
That'd be dope for them. And you know what? I think we deserve to give Gordon Hayward a lot of fucking credit if that happens. Because I know we're all going to champion LaMelo, but we all made jokes. We're not exempt. 120 mil for...
What the hell was that deal?
And you know what? Let's normalize this. Hey, other sports commentators and podcasters and everything, admit when you're wrong. I'll be the first one to say, Gordon Hayward going to Charlotte. At first, I was like, yo, 120 mil? It looks like he's earning every ounce of that contract.
Yeah, that we were off on that. I think we were off. Everybody who wasn't the Charlotte Hornets thought that.
Yeah, so, and you know what? Shout out to him because we didn't think he could be a star in this league again. And he might have been a little bit of an all-star snub. I know he was hurt, so like you can't really give it to him, but you can say that.
21.5, 5 and 4. Not in a sneak at all.
What's he shooting?
Regular season, here we go. He's shooting 48.5% from the field and 42% from three with
What from the
86
line?
free throw line. Like, that man's a bucket. He's a
Those
bucket.
numbers talk, and the funny thing is, you just know he's playing. I didn't know his numbers till now, but if you watch the games, you could tell.
Of course,
he is getting
Smart
to it.
player. They have good young players over there.
They do. I like PJ Washington.
I think they need a 5 probably.
I'm just praying they never get rid of Malik Monk. I think Malik Monk fits their team so well. Great spark off the bench.
They won at the end of the game.
100%. Terry's been good
for them.
Devontae needs to find his role. I think Devontae Graham, he needs to find his role again. He got stuck in a bad situation, and I don't want to call him a 1-year wonder, but he's got to figure it out, and maybe he's a guy that could work in Boston.
Maybe.
Being a bench guy to replace Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah. Let's look at the West. So we got Utah, LA again. Phoenix, San Antonio at 5. Props to San Antonio. 17-12. Portland at 6. Denver at 7. And Golden State at 8. With teams that we thought maybe would be good this year, Pelicans and the Mavs outside of the playoffs.
Are the Pelicans gaining steam again? Are they starting to put it together a little bit or no?
I'll look at the recent games. They're 14-19, so their record wouldn't say so.
So I'm starting to think they're the new sack.
Not putting it together. Because let's talk about losing to the Spurs, losing to the Bucks.
Those are teams, though.
Beating the Pistons and beating the Celtics, which was a great game in overtime. Mm-hmm. Losing to the Suns, losing to the Blazers, losing to the Pistons.
So they can't beat winning teams.
Like, they're still a step away, it looks like.
I'm starting to call them the new Sacramento Kings.
And they ain't that bad. I don't want to say all that.
No, I'm only saying it because they're a team that has a bunch of young pieces that looks like they should have it together, but they probably have an inept coach, and for some reason it's not working. And before we know it, we're going to be talking about breaking them up.
Yeah, I could see it. The Mavs, is Kristaps really on the move, dude?
I fucking hope not. We talked about this the other day.
Sense.
There's no way for them to get rid of Kristaps and become a better basketball team in my eyes.
I agree. And I told you that right now is the time that you will need to be paying guys like Kristaps and other good players because Luka's not getting paid. And when he does get paid, then it's even going to get more difficult for you.
And then what are you going to be? You're going to be the team that lost Luka now. And then you're going to be starting over with Maxi Kleber and Jalen Brunson saying that's your team.
Right. So do we think that they make the playoffs, or do you think they're actually just maybe not that good this year?
I think
I want to say of course they're going to make the playoffs, but then I look at the teams and I'm like, the Nuggets are at 7 and the Blazers are at 6. So can they beat the Warriors? Yeah, probably.
Don't forget the Grizzlies are still hanging around too.
A lot better than the Nuggets. Are they better than the Blazers? Probably not. And the Blazers aren't even healthy. Will the Spurs fall off and maybe they get in?
I don't think the Spurs are going to fall.
I don't think they're going to fall off. I don't think they're going to be 5, but I think they're going to make the playoffs.
I think they've done a smart team where people who aren't talking about it expect LaMarcus Aldridge's contract to be on the move because he's not really playing much last time I checked. They're going with a 4-guard lineup and it's working.
Yeah.
So
very weird looking lineup, but it is working.
It is, and it's very Greg Popovich is the one to do it. So you can't blow that past people.
He said DeMar DeRozan's gonna be playing power forward. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, they're just running 4 out basically, so it's not like it's any real positions anymore. Yeah. But see, I don't expect the Spurs to fall out, and if Dallas makes it, I think it's going to be in the playing game, and I think it's going to be with the Warriors. It's just going to be who outperforms who, Steph or Luka, because when we look at the Warriors, I know people have come on like, oh, if they had Clay, how high would they be? Yeah, probably higher. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Obviously, he's a top 10 player in the league, maybe top 15.
Top 10's a little. I'd say top 20 right now.
Yeah, he's amazing. That was the point.
The thing is, they can't play defense without Draymond.
No.
I'm expecting them to go into a slide now that Draymond's out again.
Yeah, he turned his ankle last night.
Without Wiseman, they don't really have any bigs.
It's the Curry show.
It's Steph, and then Andrew Wiggins is little 17 on 20 shots.
And if Kelly Oubre gets hot, they win. If he doesn't,
yes,
it's tough.
And it's too much pressure on them. So like, if you had Clay, like you'd probably be floating around where the Blazers are. You'd be hurt, but you'd have enough in your second option to get you over.
So we think the Grizzlies just miss out again?
I think the Grizzlies are gonna have another shot at it. It just depends. I just put it this way: if Dallas is in that 8 seed in some, I think it's the 8 through 10 that's getting reseeded. If someone gets that last spot.
Yeah, 7 plays 8 and 9 plays 10.
If somehow Golden State falls out, right?
Yeah.
And it's Memphis playing New Orleans and the winner plays Dallas, I could see Memphis doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I mean, maybe they could sneak the Blazers. Unlikely.
We think the Nuggets they're at 7. Now they're a game away from 5.
Hold up, let's talk about them real quick. I almost forgot.
Disappointing a little bit.
They've been disappointing, but let's talk about the play that's been on everyone's mind. With 3 players on the opposite side of the court, all wide open at the 3-point line, and everyone bitching about Jamal Murray's tweet.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like did we touch on this last time? I feel like we did a little bit.
I don't remember.
Who was most to blame there, in your opinion? So it's Jamal Murray with the ball coming up, stops, throws the ball across the court to Campazzo.
Yeah.
In the deep corner is Michael Porter Jr. and trailing the play is Monty Morris.
Yeah, and they're all open on the other side, right?
Yes, and there's no one in the paint, and they just,
I don't know. It's Campazzo can pass, but
all right. So I'm gonna give you the real insight because I have someone to come at, and I'm gonna defend Jamal Murray because everyone's been out bashing Jamal Murray like, oh, how you call your team out like that? What the fuck do you want me to do? Did you not watch? Like, do you not have eyes? Do you not see what just happened? Michael Porter Jr. was in front of me and ran to the corner. And we know this kid has been, I don't want to say labeled soft, but he's known for running the 3-point line too much and not wanting to go to the rim.
He's 6'10".
He's number 1 problem in my eyes. What the fuck are you doing? Number 2 problem there. Campazzo. I know, like, you're kind of a vet, but you're a rookie.
Like pass it, but he's like,
you're old, but you can play, but you're young at the same. I don't know what you are. Have the IQ to just go down the middle. Just go right down there, and just hey, MPJ just ran to the corner. I should probably cut. Third is Jamal Murray though, because I guess you stopped short. And no one was running the lane. So I guess you should have just shot it if you saw him go there.
Oh, Murray had the ball, not Campazzo?
No, Murray had the ball.
Oh, I thought Campazzo had the ball.
No, Campazzo was on the opposite side standing with Michael Porter Jr. and Monte Morris. Monte Morris deserves no blame here because he is trailing the play. He's the last man up the floor, and he's probably looking at them crazy like, the fuck are y'all doing? Like,
Murray's getting a lot of hate this year.
He has been. And I heard Richard Jefferson came out and said he can't talk because he's averaging 18 this year and he hasn't done what he did in the playoffs. While that's true, I would also like to reference you to Jamal Murray's whole fucking career where he averages 18 and doesn't do much in the regular season.
Right.
So he's basically being himself.
Correct.
So, I don't know. I mean, some people said he was like a top 20 player, but yikes.
Yeah, that Bubble Murray was different.
Yeah, though, you got lost in the sauce a little bit. It is what it is.
I did. Obviously, this year he has not been that. I will admit that. Are they? See, they're at 7 right now. So they'd be playing, if the season ends today, they'd be playing the Clippers.
Ooh, run it back.
I went last year.
Run it back.
That's the Suns at 4. Could someone sneak the Suns?
Who would the Suns be playing? The Blazers?
Playing the Spurs.
If they play the Spurs, I don't think they'd get snuck. I think they have to play.
Obviously playing the Blazers, or if
They
the Warriors.
catch the Blazers, that shit's over.
Yeah, it's like they're probably the ones people are looking at. Like, hey, we get to that 5 spot.
I don't know. That's a hard one though, because you know what?
They're very good.
Because bubble book was different too, and
It's always different. Let's be real.
I know I've been a little hard on him when it comes to not getting to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But for what he did last year in the bubble, he could have gotten to the playoffs.
Mhm.
And having Chris Paul there, he's not known for winning playoff series, but he shows up in the playoffs. He always does. So maybe that could be dangerous, depending on what DeAndre Ayton you get.
You think say the Suns were to win a playoff series, and obviously then they would end up playing the Jazz actually. But if they were to find the Clippers in the playoffs, or hell, maybe even the Jazz, you think they could sneak them?
That'd be a hard one. I don't know about them beating any of those I want to say top 4, even though they're a top 4 team. But when it comes to beating the Lakers, the Clippers, or the Jazz, I think it's very hard to say that right now. I think it's a little too early.
I think so. I think the Nuggets honestly would probably beat them.
I think the Nuggets would beat them too. Yeah, I think Portland would probably beat them too.
Fully healthy Portland will beat them. They would beat the Spurs. Them and the Mavericks would probably be a hell of a series.
Nah, I have them over the Mavs. I'm not believing in the Mavs right now. If you're talking about trading KP, you are not talking about contending in the playoffs.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, that's basically it, man.
I mean, we can go through some All-Star stuff.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, why not?
Obviously, that is coming up. Kevin Durant will be out.
Yeah, but he's still a captain, which is cool.
He is still a captain, which is cool. Jason Tatum is taking his spot as a starter. Domantas Sabonis is taking his spot on the team. Don't know how the fuck Trae Young's not an All-Star still, but y'all say what you may. In the West, Anthony Davis is out. Devin Booker is replacing him. And when all y'all were yelling about that, I want to firmly be the first person to tell you we had absolutely nothing to fucking do with it. It was going to happen the whole time. Yeah. So it is what it is. But I think we should draft them. Obviously, you're going to take Team LeBron. I'm going to take Team KD because obviously that's how it has to go right now.
That's how it is.
That's definitely how it has to go right now because
let me bring up these all-star reserves or all-star players, should you just say?
Yes, I'm bringing them up too. The starters we should go with first. So obviously, I think KD's should get the first pick because KD's not going to have a starter. So I'm going to get the first and the last pick.
All right, that's fine.
I think that's how it would work, right?
Yes, that's fine to me. I don't care.
Because you're one of the starters, bro. You only have to pick 4. I have to pick 5 whole starters.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. I know you want it, but like.
All right, so we got to pick out of the 10 starters first, right?
The 10 starters first. So the pool is Joel Embiid, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum for the East, and for the West, it is Nikola Jokic, Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, and Kawhi Leonard. You are LeBron James, so you already have LeBron.
Go.
So,
all right, go ahead.
Round 1 with my first pick.
Go ahead, sir.
I'm gonna take.
Yeah, I know.
The 2-time back-to-back MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Taking Giannis over Joel.
Wow, I thought you were going to go Big JoJo.
I was going to, but I was like, fuck it. Let's make it interesting. I'm going to pick Giannis.
You're going to go, all right, you're going to go to Greek Freak, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So, this is tough. All right, I'm going to go. Oh, this is tough. I'm going to go. I want to pick JoJo now that you didn't pick him, but you know what? I'm going to go with the greatest shooter the NBA has ever seen, Mr. Steph Curry.
All right. That's valid. I'm going to pass again.
Oh, hell no.
Because I'm gonna do what KD's going to do.
Okay.
Gotta pick my teammate. Give me Kyrie Irving.
I respect that. So now you got the Greek Freak, Kyrie. All right. And guess what? we really done got no love for JoJo right now because I'm picking the best center in the NBA, and that's your boy.
Wow.
I feel like he fits an All-Star game perfectly the way he passes. Give me Jokic.
That's exactly what I was waiting for.
Mm.
'Cause I thought you were gonna fall for it. I thought you were
Nope.
gonna fall for it. You really put me in a situation here.
If you ain't taking JoJo, what are we talking about here?
I am going to take Joel Embiid.
Who you thinking about, Luca?
Don't worry about my team, bro.
Oh, all right, shit. All right.
So you are LeBron, Steph Curry,
And
and Nikola Jokic, and I am Giannis,
Kyrie.
KI, and Joel.
Yes. Okay, so my third pick will be Luka Doncic. Yes, I did pass on Kawhi Leonard.
Well, I'm not. I'm gonna take Kawhi Leonard.
Taking the claw?
I'm gonna take the claw.
All right, I bet. Then I am taking, in my last spot, Mr. Bradley Beal.
And I'm definitely gonna take Jason Tatum.
Go ahead. That kid's 6.
To recap the starters, Team LeBron is gonna be Stephen Curry,
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Beal,
Mm-hmm.
Luka Doncic,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James,
Yeah.
and Nikola Jokic. And Team KD is gonna be Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum,
Oh,
Kawhi Leonard,
Boston again? Ew.
Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid.
We got a big ass team.
And y'all got a small ass team.
We shooting. That's what we do.
All right, so now we're going to the bench. So who's left is James Harden, Jaylen Brown, Julius Randle, DeMontis Sabonis, Zach LaVine, Ben Simmons, Nikola Vucevic. And on the other side is Damian Lillard, Paul George, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, Zion Williamson, Rudy Gobert, and Devin Booker.
All right. Got a lot to choose from in this.
There's a lot to choose from in this.
All right.
So
you go first, my man.
I gotta go first again.
Yeah, that's how much love I got for you. You believe that?
All right, I'm taking my teammate James Harden.
You put the boys back together, huh?
Of course, the boys are back together. What are we talking about?
I am taking the biggest snub of the All-Star game. That's Mr. Dame Dollar.
Dame Dollar. All right.
Hulu doesn't just have live sports. Come on, you know his raps, dog. Come on.
I see you. Well, you made me go big, right?
Mm-hmm.
So half of me wants to keep the trend, but half of me knows that I have one of the real biggest snubs, and it's Donovan Mitchell.
There you go. Yeah. Best player in the best team, right?
Of course.
This is a tough. I'll even tell you who I'm thinking about.
Go for it. I have no objection.
Oh, that's tough. But in an All-Star game, keep in mind this is an All-Star game.
Yes, sir, it is.
I am taking Mr. Zion Williamson.
Ooh, early.
Give me the high flyer for this game.
Oh, you're crazy. Because you missed somebody that's perfect for an all-star game.
Who's that?
You fucking missed him.
I wonder if it's going to be the other guy I was going to pick.
I'm going to take Ben Simmons.
That's what I was going to take with the next one if you did take. That's what I was thinking of, him or Zion.
I am taking Ben Simmons.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I ain't going to hate on that one.
It is what it is, bro.
All right. Now we're looking at me, Mr. Donis Sabonis.
Oh, you're looking at yourself?
At myself.
At yourself like that?
No, I'm staying away from that. Give me... Nah, you know what? Give me PG. Give me PG.
All right. I'm happy you did that because I didn't want to disrespect him, but I wasn't taking him.
Yeah, I didn't want to disrespect him either, but I was really questioning not taking him. But he's too good. I got to take him.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right. I'm gonna do it.
Take a big Rudy, aren't you?
I'm just gonna tell you, I'm gonna do it. Give me
ahead,
Julius Randle.
Oh,
Give me Julius
boy.
Randle. I just like how he fits with this team, man. I like how he fits with this team.
all right. I ain't mad at that. Ooh, wee. Oh, I love this next one I'm about to pick. I'm about to pair.
Wait, you told you? Oh, no. He's still on the board. Never mind.
I'm about to pair probably the two best dunkers in the NBA. I already got Zion. So who's the other? Mr. Zach LaVine, bro. We about to be high flying.
So I'm gonna make sure this kid wasn't taken. I'm gonna take Devin Booker.
Yeah, I'm thinking about him.
That's what I thought you was about to take. I was like, oh shit, he's gonna fuck me up. No,
I'm going high flying with that.
no, he did not. You have Dame, right?
Yes,
By the
sir.
way, you have Dame. I have Kawhi. I have D. Mitch. I'm trying to go through it still. All right, let's do a recap. Let's do a little recap because
So it's less confusing.
yeah, because I'm fucking lost right now.
You have Chris Paul left, Rudy Gobert from the West. From the East, you have Jaylen Brown,
Nikola Vucevic,
and Sabonis.
So
3 from the East, 2 from the West.
Yes, 2 for the West.
I believe it's my pick now, right?
Yes.
Ooh. Do I pick the Legend CP? Do I take the Legend? Yeah, give me Chris Paul. Give me CP3 out here.
Do you know what's funny? We're basically doing West versus East.
Is it really turning out like that?
It is basically turning out that way.
Nice.
I am going to take Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown, yeah. So I'm going to go next.
Heavily disrespected.
Well, he's a hell of a player.
In the
We're talking about the great here, so
we are talking about the best here.
you can't really be disrespecting.
And don't forget, I got Coach KD. Don't forget that. So watch out for that one.
I got Quinn Snyder, so suck it.
I got Quinn Snyder. All right, fine. I got Nick McMillan. Fuck you.
I'm just kidding. I don't even know who fucking Quinn Snyder's coaching. He's coaching LeBron's team, ain't he?
Is Doc Rivers coaching KD's?
Yeah, he is. It says it at the bottom here. I'm gonna go Domantas Sabonis.
You had to take yourself, huh?
I had to take myself. That'd be disrespectful if I didn't.
All right, well, I'm gonna make you take the guy I know you don't want to take, so I'm gonna take Nikola Vucevic.
You gonna bring me Big Rudy?
Nah. Actually, I'm off the board. Fuck it. Give me Trae Young.
Give me an outside. Yeah.
Give me Trae. So you're stuck with Rudy.
Yeah, I'm stuck with Big Rudy, who we both don't like.
All right. So to recap, I'm gonna read my team. You're gonna read your team. Y'all we'll put a poll up on Twitter, possibly Instagram. Maybe I'll have enough time to make an edit.
We'll see.
All right. So Team KD, brought to you by GM Secret. First head coach Kevin Durant / Doc Rivers. We're going to talk about it. Starting at point guard, we have Kyrie Irving. Shooting guard, Jason Tatum. Then we have Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi.
Then Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid. On our bench, we have James Harden, Donovan Mitchell,
Thanks.
Devin Booker,
He's good.
Ben Simmons,
Yeah, love him.
Julius Randle, Jaylen Brown, and Nikola Vucevic.
All right.
AKA Trae Young.
Hey, can I sub him out somehow? All right, so that means my team is Mr. Steph Curry, greatest shooter you've ever seen. Bradley Beal leading the NBA in scoring. Luka Doncic, he's fantastic. The GOAT, LeBron James. The best center in the league, Nikola Jokic. So just by those accolades right there, my starters are definitely better. Reserves.
If I had KD, it'd be different.
Sure.
We're going to sub him in. Watch. We're going to sub him in.
You did get handicapped to that. I'll admit that. Then my reserves are Dame Dollar,
Okay.
Paul George,
Eh.
Zion Williamson,
Eh.
Chris Paul.
Eh.
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 Zach LaVine, Sabonis,
Eh.
and Rudy.
Your reserves are ass.
We get a little light at the end, but they'll play.
And just like the regular season, Bron is gonna have to play 40 minutes a game.
No, he'll be all right.
All right, so we'll do a toss up. We'll do rock paper scissors for who gets AD and who gets KD.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be team KD. I don't even get KD.
Yeah, that's kind of cold, ain't it?
You forgot your boy Rudy Gobert. Did you say him?
Yeah, I said him at the end. I said Big Rudy.
I'm making sure you have him.
Can I trade him though? Is that possible? Can I?
No, we're not accepting. We're not accepting trades.
What if I can I trade an all-star for a guy who's not an all-star to get it?
You have to trade. You can trade an all-star, but it has to be for someone that doesn't start in the actual NBA.
Let me trade Rudy to the Mavs for Boban.
Oh, hey, they just got better.
What?
He's gonna trade for bro. You could have traded for like Ed Davis, like
who?
Ed Davis, bro. You
I
know
know.
Claxton. Come on, go get. I'm telling you about Nick Claxton, bro.
Yeah, that's your boy all of a sudden.
What about your boy Jared Allen? That's your boy. That's your boy all of a sudden.
That's your boy. You're like he's a double machine.
He was. I said he was baby Rudy, so he does exactly what Rudy does.
Fuck Jared Allen.
Except he gets dunked on probably a little more.
Let me trade Rudy for at least like BI.
BI.
Yeah, maybe.
You could trade Rudy for. You can trade Rudy, but I have to decide who it's for.
You're gonna be like Raul.
You could trade Rudy for Robin Lopez.
I might not. I'm just playing.
Mo Wagner.
Nah, he's horrible.
How about whatchamacallit? Pal Gasol.
Not Mark, pal. He played in Spain, bro. What you mean?
I know, that's what I'm saying. He's out there.
Over for a game?
Milos Teodosic.
Ooh, that'd be tough. Hey.
Yo, he really put that ball around the dude guarding him head. He put it around his head. In the middle of a fucking game. Like, are you crazy?
We're just liking Rudy too much. Rudy's
All-NBA third teamer right now. Defensive player of the year, most likely.
We just like brag on him because he scores 10 points a game. You know,
it's just hard to respect someone that has long arms and is big compared to someone that actually has skill. It's no disrespect to him.
It's great when you can average 11 points a game and get paid $150 million.
Oh, 205. 205.
Oh, you got that max?
Yeah, he got the max. I think he gets paid more than Karl Anthony Towns.
You think that comes back and bites him in the ass in the future?
Probably. I mean, hey, who knows anymore? I saw someone put on Twitter too. To put shit in perspective, teams were tanking for Andrew Wiggins and Jabari.
Oh my god! I'm like, and me too, bro. I used to be like, I was more of a Jabari guy than a Wiggins. I was like, yo, Jabari gonna be nice.
I love the Jabari just because he came from Simeon, his whole story.
I was like, yo, Jabari's gonna be a beast in the league. I was wrong about that.
But dude, what's funny? It's not even his fault because I think he was on that trajectory. It was just Giannis got in the way and took the franchise from him, and then he got
hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt, and then he never really fit anywhere he was going.
Oh, I got a question for you real quick before we wrap up. I was thinking about this the other day. Do we call if someone sucks, right, when they get drafted? Say someone's number one pick, number two pick, number three pick, whatever, and they suck for that first team they get to. Right, they don't like Markelle Fultz, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously a major bust in Philadelphia.
Right,
but now that we see he's playing better and is an NBA player with the Magic, do we call him a bust still?
I think we have to stop being in a hurry and generally judge prospects in every sport because Tom's coming over to the dark side for y'all that don't know, and he's starting to be more of a hater on the draft and understanding it is a crapshoot and no one has it 100%. But that's my rant for you.
So think about that, like, because I think I would, like, it's a bust for that team, right? Like, you'd be like, that was a horrible pick by Philly. Like, of course, at the time we're like, oh, that's gonna be nice. But looking back, like, that's a bust pick right there. Like,
I think that's exactly how you said it. It's a bust for the pick. Markelle Fultz, in my opinion, I don't think will ever live up to being the number one pick in that draft.
Like, can you call Markelle Fultz the worst number one pick because that team he went to?
No.
What, because of Kwame?
Because of who?
Kwame Brown.
Because of Anthony Bennett.
Or Greg Oden. Greg Oden was nice for a little bit.
Greg Oden got hurt. Kwame Brown played in the league for 13 years. Anthony Bennett played a season and a half, was found in the G League 4 years later, and then I don't know where he is.
Real, he shouldn't have been number one pick anyway. We were all like, wait, who? He's number one pick?
In perspective, whose draft is that?
I don't know. Who was second?
No, it's not who was second. It's who was 15th. Giannis Antetokounmpo was 15th in that draft.
Oh, that's Oladipo, right?
Oladipo's second.
Yeah.
So even if you took Oladipo, you would have been fine.
Fifth year in the league.
And I'm pretty sure, is that Otto Porter that goes third?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
And it's not that Otto, and let's talk about that too. Like,
player.
Otto Porter wasn't a bust. That was a weak draft.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're talking about that draft, who are the people that are in consideration? You can probably pull up old articles. I'm pretty sure it's like Otto Porter, Victor Oladipo. They might have talked. Was Nerlens Noel that draft?
I'm not sure. It's hard to remember all those goddamn picks.
Like it just proves what the draft is. I don't judge any. It's hard to judge any player within his first 2 years or something like that. Like, people are already looking at this draft and this past draft and grading it. Like, talking about, Emmanuel Quickley should have been a top 10 pick. Yeah, this year.
Yeah, up until you in college, he should have been a top 10 pick.
Yeah, so it's hard to say that. Like, you can't look at Denny Avdia right now. We both had him high on our boards when the draft was coming out. He dropped down boards. He hasn't played well, but from a player perspective, you understand what it is to not be in the right role. Like, look how they use him.
Yeah.
He should be he should be relieving Davis Bertans to do similar things to what he does. Obviously not just shoot off rip, but like be a specialist so then you could shot fake and go to the rim. Work on your jumper and just do that. But they have him playing like this weird tweener role where he's supposed to defend and play
defender
and score at the rim. Like, I don't get what they're really asking of him. So I don't blame the player 9 times out of 10. It's just, how are you using him? And then that affects his future career depending on how it is. Look at your boy Pokashevsky. You said he was the worst player in the NBA. Right off the rip. Came like what, 15th? Or some shit like that. He's picked around there. Now he's in the G League getting highlights every other week. He's just not ready for the league. He might not be a busted prospect at 17.
Right. I agree.
Might take a little bit.
I just wanted to hear your take on it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate wanting my input.
Thanks, man. Just top of my head there while I was sitting on the couch.
Really?
I'm like, if they become good, but they sucked in the beginning.
It's always gonna work like that, and no one has perfect vision for that. So it is what it is. But I think I'm ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm fucking starving, huh?
It's probably not a long episode for y'all, but it was a slow week, man. Let us rock. Let's do our thing.
Make shit up, huh?
And also be prepared. You're either gonna get this Wednesday or Tuesday night. It's undecided. Check it. I'm just on a rigorous schedule, and if someone wants to edit for us, brofluent@gmail.com, maybe. You feel me? But in other news, prayers up for Tiger Woods. He broke both legs in a horrible flipping accident. You know what? I don't want to be. Call me what you want. Say what you want to say. It's probably just, but am I wrong for my first thing being, oh no, another car accident early in the morning? Was
Mhm.
drinking.
Let's
Was
listen.
he going
That's-
to another mistress's.
It's a shitty thought, but
It is shitty. I admit it's a shitty first
it's a
thought.
Of course it is. But what do they say? History. What does it say? It's like basically when they say history is bound to repeat itself, right? If you don't
Mhm.
fix stuff. Obviously, if it's happened in the past, that's going to be your first thought that it happened again. I'm
Right.
not. I mean, personally, I didn't think. I thought it was like a car accident with somebody else or something when I first heard it.
Mhm.
It didn't pop in my head, but when I saw on Twitter, and I was like, because I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh shit, I hope it's not that.
Yeah, the first thing I saw was like 7 a.m. and I was like, 7? Where is he driving home or is he driving somewhere else? Because last time he got in an accident this early in the morning, it was some fucked up shit. But thank God he's okay. Hopefully hopefully this accident doesn't take away the rest of his career from him. Obviously, he's had back problems.
Mhm.
Now he's gonna have leg problems, unfortunately.
Savage golfer already.
Obviously, one of the best golfers of all time. Shout out to the PGA though. What they did with the red shirt, the red polos, the black hats, and the black pants was very, very appropriate to appreciate him. And prayers for him. And hopefully he gets better very soon, and we could see him back on the. Do I want to see him? Where do I want to see him? The tee box, the fairway, or the green? Where do I want to see him?
But I want to see him on the. Yeah, I guess I don't even know.
Because I can get to the tee box.
On the range.
He can get to getting on the range. He's just practicing.
Yeah,
That's like saying like, oh yo, I hope Katie can
cart.
practice.
You want to see him going around? You want to see him on the cart? What do you want to see?
I want to see him on the fairway because that's where I can't get.
You want to see him on the green?
You golfer people that listen to Murphy's Law, y'all know what that means. All right, I used to golf myself. Don't see interesting information. Put your Brofluent quizzes together.
I went once. That was horrible. But I'll go again. It was a good time.
It's fun. We could do that. We could do a live show.
Oh god, that'd be so bad, huh?
That'd be great. Actually, we'll get we'll get the missuses.
Oh, there you go. Now we're talking.
to join.
Yeah, now we're talking.
We'll do all that. But
Who's the worst golfer?
okay, yeah, we'll do a little thing like that. Resurrect the YouTube, man. Resurrect the YouTube.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, download Podbean, Apple Podcasts, follow at Brofluent on IG and on Twitter. ASAP for daily content. Get to know, see what you're doing, see what's going on, and we're gonna be back next week.
Yes, sir.